Alrighty, hi 7th graders. Today we're going to be continuing with lesson 8. So last week on the videos you did this problem, that do we have enough gas to make it to the gas station? Today we're going to be working on Andrea's portraits. So if you could quietly read this first little couple lines and pause the video, and then you can unpause after you've read this. So I'm going to read this real quick. I hope you all know what a caricature is. It's one of those pictures that just looks like a cartoon, really exaggerated. You know, you have a big head and a small body, stuff like that. So Andrea is a street artist in New Orleans. She draws caricatures or cartoon-like portraits of tourists. People have their portrait drawn and then come back later to pick it up from her. The graph below shows the relationship between the number of portraits she draws and the amount of time and hour she needs to draw the portraits. This problem is different because we're not given an XY table. Okay, this time we don't have a little table. We have just a graph. So we need to kind of find out some points from this graph. Okay, so the first point that I see, let's see, I have time spent drawing portraits on my x-axis. I have number of portraits drawn on my y-axis. The first point I see this one right here, and I want you to darken that point. What does that point mean, and what point is that? So if I were to put this in a table, I would call this 2, 3. 2 for my x and 3 for my y. Okay. In letter A, it says write several ordered pairs from the graph. So that's not a table. An ordered pair looks like this, x comma y. Okay. So we're going to write the ordered pair. So the ordered pair for 2, 3 is just 2 comma 3. It also says to explain what each ordered pair means in the context of this graph. Well, what does that 2 comma 3 mean? Well, the 2 is the time she spent working on the portrait, so that's hours. And then the 3 up here is the number of portraits that she drew. So it took her 2 hours to draw 3 portraits. Okay? We're going to find another point. So if you can find another point, do it. I see this one right here. What point would that be? That one would be called, I would start my 0, 4, comma, 6. And I'm just going to put that in my table here first, 4, 6. And then I'm going to write it down as an ordered pair, 4, comma, 6. So what does that mean? Well, it took her 4 hours to draw 6 portraits. Okay, pause the video, see if you can find one more point, and then double check it with me after. So the point that I found was this one, and that one would be 6, 9. Okay, as an ordered pair, I would write that 6, comma 9. Okay, so it took her 6 hours to draw 9 portraits. Awesome. Now, one more point that I want you guys to pull out is the unit rate point. How do we find the unit rate? Well, if we had a table like this, we would just take our y divided by our x, right? Our 3 divided by 2, or 6 divided by 4, or 9 divided by 6. And we could do that. If I figured that out, I would get 1.5, right? I would get 1.5. Where is that in my table? Well, this 1.5 actually means like 1.5 portraits per hour. If I find my 1 hour right here, where does that cross my line? Well, I could make a little point right there. So in 1 hour, it looks like she draws 1.5 portraits. Okay, I'm going to write that down as a point too. 1, comma 1.5. So it took her 1 hour to draw 1.5 portraits. Make sure that you're pausing the video whenever you need to, if you need to continue taking notes, okay? Because I'm kind of not stopping here. That's a star point because this is my unit rate. Okay, whenever you have a 1 for your x, you know that that's your unit rate. Okay, because how long does it take for 1 hour? How many pictures are drawn in 1 hour? So that's really important there.